back everyone for some more Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. And we are at the final day here. Well, or should I say, the final episode of this particular case. Which, like I said before, it is a short case, but we will show in this episode, once and for all, what exactly is going on here at the bridge at Eagle River. And hopefully we can get an acquittal for Terry Fawles. But I don't want to waste any more time. I do want to get into this. This is going to be a longer episode. Hopefully you guys have an awesome day today. Hopefully you guys doing well. So without further ado, now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Fawles. Witness, are you feeling better? Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best. You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand the defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on an innocent student is... What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime. That's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman to be a murderer. Her motive, huh? I figured that's what I had to establish next. Well, Miss Ray, do you have any evidence of a motive? Yes, of course. I think. Ha. You're still acting as tame as a kitten. Kitten? Mr. Armando, listen. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that. Excuse me, may I speak, Mr. Judge? Of course, Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. That doesn't sound creepy at all. I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why. I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. I see, you're such an honest and upstanding young lady. Looks like this witness is a real professional. But what do you mean? Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her, click, she lights right up. Very well then, let's hear what the witness has to say. Witness testimony, Melissa Foster's history. I was out of the country until the year before last. Until I entered college, I had never been to Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a judge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. Or kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. Out of the country, eh? Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Indeed. You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow I have to tie her to this case. Oh, crap. I want to save. Okay, so you've never been to Eagle Mountain? So they don't have any reason to kill a police officer? A grudge? Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death. Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt. My client has always maintained that he's innocent of those charges. He seems rather forgetful. Your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well. What do you mean by that? Your client, he forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. Well, she's right about that. Mr. Fawles is kind of forgetful. Let's press harder. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What did you mean by that? Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right? Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification. Why, if I had been wearing his white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me. That's true. He's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Fawles' reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with that last statement? I'm gonna have it added to the testimony. Your Honor, What the witness said just now is tremendously important. I'd like it added to the official testimony. The prosecution has no objection. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. That testimony helps to further prove that point. No, that's not what I... Enough. Witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf.
Objection!
Witness, I want you to look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Oh, you're talking about this scarf right here, eh? Yes, that's it. The scarf the policewoman was wearing. I've got her now. Just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. Well, white? This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Oh. Well, it was foggy that day and it was raining as well. It's not surprising that she mistook it for white. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. Yes, but what's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is... Witness, have you ever seen this note? No, never. It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have. I wonder about that. Well, what do you mean? This note shows Mr. Fawles' instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification. White scarf? Witness, you knew what this note said. And it's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster? No! Order! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Fawles is one, the person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another, and finally, one more person. I got a stupid notification that won't go away. Did you say one more person? That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yep. The third person that knew the content of that note was... Well, let's see. What about this person? Valerie's younger sister, victim of the kidnap murder, fell from bridge, no body found. And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. There is her name right there. Well, what's this? So, who is this person, this Dahlia Hawthorne? Miss Faye must be desperate. She's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Fawles. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago, when she fell off a dusty bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she was still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster? I believe that's the same age you are. Even you couldn't... Miss Faye, you're not saying... But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire, but unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Now is my chance to make Mr. Edgeworth squirm. Witness, just who are you anyway? I didn't think it would come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness. Yes, I understand. What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue this matter this far. You don't? You don't mean... Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all of our witnesses. What did he say? Heh, looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. No way, but then why? If he had to reveal her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to... the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well. But, well, as you can see... Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years she's been playing the role of the victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder. Really, Miss Faye, I must say your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How dare you? Please, let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious. Her big sister. Miss Faye must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. What? I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would this witness have for killing a beloved sister? Well, you see... I thought I was winning, but somehow he's turned it around on me. Heh. I think you need a little push in the right direction, Kenton. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim. That wasn't me. It was this guy. This crazy coffee addict. I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. Ha! What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protégé looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets. You think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You've just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. Up to me? The rashness of youth, how charming. This coming from someone younger than me. Now then, let's not waste any more time. Miss Faye? What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne? The story starts after Terry Fawles escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth. The whole truth. There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. A terrific story, Miss Faye. If you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Faye. What was the secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne and Terry Fawles. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Oh yes, I know this secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. Well, what testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things, such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Very well. I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf? Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge. Putting on the old charm one more time, Dahlia. But this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. Witness testimony. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Fawles. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister, Valerie, brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Fawles in the arm. That's when Mr. Fawles tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. But that's convenient. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe after all that she murdered her sister? Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Faye? Let's go ahead and save. Yes, Your Honor? As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. And I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. If we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up. You still got that info. That ace up her sleeve. What info? Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. That's right, it was a fake kidnapping. Terry Fawles told us that in the lobby. I'll do anything she says, anything Dahlia says. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by? Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too. Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret. Okay, cross-examination. Okay, 5 years ago, she was kidnapped. Ransom price was a raw diamond. Mr. Fawles was shot. That's when Mr. Fawles tried to kill her. You say that Mr. Fawles pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Fawles. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said, that's hard to believe. I should have said, that's impossible. Impossible? I ask that the court recall the condition of Dusky Bridge, now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in these last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind you, have claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below. Most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Ah! Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level of the river may have been higher back then. But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. You're right. If the events occurred just as the witness had testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? You see, Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Fawles panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Now that you mention it... Oh, of course. I do remember now, when I fell off the bridge, my skirt got caught in one of the bridge's side wires. You can't be serious. Order. Order in the court. It seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion. Not now, Mia. This is no time to retreat. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Mrs. Faye's assault. But what? I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Fawles panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed you off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say, that's impossible. But ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. By means of this. Your Honor, all the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. No! But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Fawles had been shot in the right arm. Ah, and more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. Ugh. So, Mr. Fawles throwing the witness off the bridge? That is clearly impossible. Why? Order, order. What is the meaning of this? Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into the evil river intentionally. What? What is this? Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark? Yes, it's ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun in handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping to a raging river like that, that would have been suicide. Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident you could handle the swift current. But even more so, the witness had a much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh? Then what was it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive. This fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the river. "5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up the mountain with her, the $2 million diamond. Ah! No! It can't be. Yes, Dahlia had it all planned from the beginning. The $2 million, she was gonna keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Fawles to help fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Why, that's simply ridiculous. And she has her head turned. Remember what happened last time in the first case. Order, order, order. Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? This woman is a demon. And there was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. What do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Fawles, Valerie called her sister Dahlia, and then she told her what she was planning to do. Planning to do? She was gonna tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her note. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched a demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why You killed your sister, Valerie Hawthorne. Well, well. Hehe. Well, who is that laughing at a time like this? Oh, here we go. Forgive me, it's just hilarious. Witness? Is that you? You amuse me, woman. Miss Mia Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally, you have the evidence to back it up, don't you? The evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14 I plotted it with Mr. Fawles and my sister. Well, And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't provide evidence to at least show that. Well, Miss Fey? I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Fey. Are you stupid or something? How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Well, it seems that we've come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject the assertions made by the defense. Of course you are. Is this it? Is it really over? That girl has made a fool of me and there's nothing I can do about it. Heh. Without evidence, the trial is over. Who decided that? And Mr. Armando. Come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony. The testimony? On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in a trunk of Mr. Fawles' stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. In that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is the one person who can testify that demon woman's crime? Well, it's none other than the defendant. Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A new witness? Yes. We would like to hear the testimony of Terry Fawles. The defendant? There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo was Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia, disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all, and that person is Terry Fawles. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what is your take on this? Why not? The prosecution has no objective. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Fawles. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You are all I have left. Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Fawles, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive, and you were used for $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Fawles, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago in Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago, she promised. She promised never ever betray each other. Terry. Dahlia. It's true. It's true. You are alive. You don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad. Tell the truth. The real truth. I believed in you. I shouldn't need to say it. You should already know. But there is one thing I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. Dahlia. I will allow Mr. Fawles to testify once and once only. Well then, Mr. Fawles, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness. Oh! Eek! I'm sorry, I apologize. Water. Please, water. Can't talk. Need water. Huh. Oh, well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself. Wah! Witness testimony. Who Terry Fawles saw. That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of Bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on Bridge. I watched my car from Bridge. I never put no body in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia. Mr. Fawles, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you? Objection! That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Fay, please proceed with your cross-examination. Don't mind if I do. Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Fawles? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence? There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten. I think. Cross-examination. Who Terry Fawles saw. Okay, stopped the cars in front of the bridge. She wasn't there, so we waited. Watched the car from the bridge. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of him. He talked, then she left. So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge. You're sure of that? Yeah, I'm sure. You're sure, huh? Well then I'm sure too, Mr. Fawles. I'm sure that you're lying. Huh? What? Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Fay. You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first will be the one at the end of the bridge, right? But that's the victim at the end of the bridge. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Fawles, you must have arrived at the bridge after she died. She did. Mr. Fawles? Please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock. It's true. I had somewhere to go. A special place. Did you go to the special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love. A memento? 5 years ago, I hid it under the base of tree there. It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I want to get. Oh! For those of you that remember the first case, you should know darn well what that necklace is. This little bottle on the necklace is your memento? It's quite charming, but it looks empty. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But he then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. Ugh. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. No! Indeed, there certainly was enough time for it. I've still got a chance. Mr. Fawles, there's no mistaking it. Huh? Mr. Fawles? Oh boy. That's enough. Please. Witness? I promised her, 5 years ago, if it ever happens that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. No! Stop the trial! Your Honor, we need a recess. I was stupid. Couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drank this. No, we are so close. Just a little more. I was gonna prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Fawles! Mr. Armando. Thanks for the coffee. Mr. Fawles! Oh, shoot. And so my first trial ended, suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought it would never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. But one person, the true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. Unforgivable. That witch. But Mr. Armando, we were so close to the truth. It was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Fawles killed himself. Don't cry, kitten. You're gonna make my coffee all salty. I knew it. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Mia. Oh, that music. Surely you guys know by now who this guy really is. This guy is really our prosecutor adversary that we've been dealing with the past 2 cases, Godot. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. That had to have hurt. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. But Mr. Armando, he's bleeding pretty freaking bad. No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. Then you file them away and eventually forget them. One year later, in this very same courthouse, I, myself, got wrapped up in that case. Flashback of the first case of this game. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all this. And what he's referring to is the final case of this game, as Episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings, has been brought to an end. And this opens up the 5th and final episode of this game, Bridge to the Turnabout. Which, we won't get to this, we're going to take about a month's break from this game, and then we'll do this 5th and final case in the month of July, which I'm going to say it's pretty much going to take nearly all month, because it's a very long case. I'm going to say it's going to take at least 16, 17 episodes to do this case, so hope you guys will be ready for that in about a month from now, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed seeing me solve this case. It was a short one, but it was a powerful one. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far, and I'll be seeing you guys again next time.